What do you see in this image? You see arguably the best player in the NBA. You see a 7-footer. You see a 300-pound Serbian. You see the reigning NBA champ. You see a bunch of things. And then you read and you see the only player to have 16 assists, 5 blocks, and 5 rebounds in the game. And then you think, what is this actually telling me? It's telling you exactly what it says. But it has no mention of points. It has no mention of how dominant he was offensively that night in terms of how much he scored. It says nothing about that. It talks about the other things, his assists, his rebounds, his blocks, how he played without the ball. So then you go to check the game stats, or you look at the game and you actually see he had 4 points that night. In 25 minutes, he had 4 points. And not only that, you're like, okay, maybe he just had an off night. No, it's not that. He shot the ball 3 times, went 2 for 3. So you think, how is a guy this good, this dominant, only putting up 4 points, and he's breaking records and he's doing things that has never been done before, as you can see? And it's because not everything is revolving around points and around scoring. And that's what today's video is on. In today's vid, I'm talking about doing the little things and scoring not being the most important thing in the world. A lot of times when you watch basketball, you think, for me to be a guy that can play on the team, high school, college, elementary school, NBA, I got to be able to score the ball. I got to be able to put the ball in the basket. And that's not the case. You can be just as dominant without scoring the ball. You can be just as dominant from passing the ball, just as dominant defending the ball, just as dominant rebounding the ball. It's so many things that you can do out on the court that isn't revolving around scoring, but scoring is the thing that everyone wants to do because it's the cool part of the game, right? To win a game, you got to have more baskets than the other team. That's the nature of the game. You believe in order for me to go somewhere, and in order for me to do something, I have to be able to put up a lot of shots and put up a lot of points, but that's just not the case. The reason why everybody wants to score is because it's what everybody thinks is the coolest part of the game. Everybody believes that, hey, I'm going to get all the people to talk about me if I put up 30 points. I'm going to get everybody to watch me if I put up this amount of points. I'm going to get all the girls if I put up this many points. All the recruits going to want me if I can put up this many points. But in all actuality, it's so many people that can put up points, it's not even funny anymore. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of players who all they focus on is scoring, and they only develop their scoring part of their game. And everything else is lacking. They can't rebound, they can't defend, they can't play make, they can't pass the ball, they can't do any other thing because they're so focused on being the coolest guy on the court, being the guy that when people come to the game, they say, hey, look, he could put the ball in the basket the best. He could put the ball in the basket the most. And you get caught in the trap of thinking that I have to be able to do this, because if I don't, then I can't go nowhere. I can't get on the court if I can't score. I can't get on the court if I am not one of the better scorers. I can't get on the court if I can't shoot or if I can't drive the ball. And while this may be true to an extent, this is not the biggest thing. You may believe that you have to be able to score at a high level to play in college, and that's because of what you see on social media. That's because of what you see and what you hear from other guys who believe the same thing, who haven't been there, haven't talked to players who actually play in college, but that's not the truth. Being able to do things outside of scoring is almost just as important, because most teams are going to have a scorer. Most teams are going to have players on the team who focus so much on scoring that it's not needed on the team. What happens when you join a team or you join an organization that has 5 scorers and all you ever worked on was your scoring? Now what? Where are you? Where do you fit? You don't fit on that team. You know why? Because you were so focused on putting the ball in the basket that you didn't develop any other skills. The thing that makes Nikola Jokic so great is that he can dominate a basketball game without putting the ball in the basket. Now, obviously, he does put the ball in the basket a lot, and he's averaging probably on the year about 25.5 points. But it is nice, like the other night, January 7th, where he didn't put the ball in the basket that much. He was absolutely still the best player on the court. You may think, how is he the best player on the court with 3 shots? It's because he dominates the game in every facet. He's dominating with his rebounding. He's dominant with him controlling the game. He's dominant with his playmaking. He's dominating the defense. He's being able to control everyone on the court just because he knows how to make the offense move and how to make the offense work amongst himself. These are things that you want to key in and lock in on, because this is what keeps you on the court as well. Although scoring is important, this is other things that you can do to make sure that you're also on the court. Some days your shot's not going to be falling. Some days you're going to go 5 for 20. Some days you're probably not even going to get 20 shots. Most people are not getting 20 shots. So if you're getting 5 shots a game or you're getting 10 shots a game max, how can you be a dominant scorer when you're not even allowed to do that? You got to be able to do things that other players don't do. So if you're a crazy good rebounder, you're going to be on the court. If you're a crazy good guy at passing the ball, playmaking, getting assists, you're going to stay on the court. If you're a great defender, you're going to stay on the court. These are all things that are essential to playing on a team. Think about it. Let's say you go up to a LA Fitness or a recreational center, and you playing basketball, and you got a guy who wants to play, but he's not a good scorer. You see that he's pretty bad. He's not a hooper. But what does he do? He hustles, he rebounds, he defends. He does all the little things. He does all the things that nobody on the court wants to do, and those are the things that I just listed. Are you going to pick him up, or are you going to pick up just another random player who can put the ball in the basket just like everybody else? A lot of the times you're going to pick the hype. You're going to pick the guy who runs around the court defending everybody, getting all the rebounds, the uncoordinated kid that just plays hard. You know why? Because that is also needed on the team to win. It's needed because it's not known, it's not seen as often as all the other parts of the game. You want to be a guy who every team wants, because every team has scoring. Scoring is not the most important thing, or scoring is not the only important thing on the court. It may be the most important, but it's not the only thing on the court, and you can get far more minutes by trying to be a great defender than trying to be a great scorer, especially when you're on good teams who already have these things. Make sure that you're developing other aspects of your game so that you can stay on the court when you got guys who also do the same thing that you do well already, which is scoring. Thanks for watching today's video. That's just from my eyes to yours. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.